ask you about the possibility of a select committee. Scott Dworkin of the Democratic Coalition tweeted earlier today that a Republican consultant has said to him that they're urging the Republican senators to publicly push for a new vote on January 6th commission, saying a select committee would actually be devastating for the GOP. That's very interesting that any Republican would think that it would be devastating to have a select committee. I'd love to have your comments on that. And what are you hearing about whether or not such a select committee is going to happen?
Well, let me tell you, Joy, we're all disappointed, very disappointed, that we could not get bipartisan support for a commission. For them to resist, the Republicans, to resist a commission speaks to whether or not they are interested in really having the facts come out about the insurrection and what took place, who was involved in it, who supported the transportation for so many of those people to come by airplane, by bus, what have you. I know that there have been some reports that talked about those who signed up for the permit as being the same people who worked in the president's campaign. And so we wanted a commission that would be bipartisan. They have resisted it. And so, yes, we have to think about what is the alternative. Yes, a select committee is being talked about, and I think that we're going to have to go forward with a select committee. I support that. The Speaker has not announced it yet, but I know that it is being discussed. It is being thought about because we have to. We have to do something, and we have to get the facts out about who invaded our Capitol. This insurrection that took place, where our police officers, the Capitol Police, were in hand-to-hand combat. They did not have the kind of protection that they should have had, and they were being beaten up. And you saw the officer that got killed. He was crushed. And then the sight of the American flag on the pole used to beat up police officers is more than one can bear. Yeah. And so I'm anxious for us to move forward and get a select committee, and I'm very hopeful that it will come about soon.
And do you believe that Republican members of Congress who may have given tours or in any way helped and found aided in this insurrection should be subpoenaed by such a committee?
Yes, I do believe that. I do believe that. First of all, we have members of Congress, Republican members, who are aligned with and associated with QAnon, who know many of the Oath Keepers and some of the Proud Boys. And not only do we have some that know them and have worked with them, I believe that there were tours that were given. I saw some of them the day before over in front of the Raven House office building. And at that time, I warned our Capitol Police to look out because strange characters was roaming around. And I saw some inside the House Raven building. And so, yes, I do believe that some of the members of the Republican Party know more than they are telling or want to tell.
Yeah, and maybe that's why they oppose having a commission. Congresswoman Maxine Waters, thank you very much. Always great to speak with you. All right, and up next, Mirror, Mirror on